Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom Palacios, and I'm studying business entrepreneurship. And today I will show the humanistic approach in modern organization. Uh, the course is Organizational Principles from Brigham Young, Idaho. And the humanistic approach emphasizes people as the heart of every organization. It focused on motivation, empathy, communication, and trust as key to performance. What is the objective of my presentation? Understand the main principles of the humanistic approach, explore its historical development and key thinkers, recognize how motivation and empathy drive performance, and analyze real business examples. Reflect on personal application of humanistic leaderships. Okay, here we go. Introduction. The most successful organizations don't just build products, they build people. The humanistic approach emerged as a response to classic management, prioritizing emotions, relationships, and purpose over structure and control. This is the power of organization. Instead, it emphasizes the emotional and social aspect of work, belonging, communication, and purpose. When people feel valued, they naturally perform better. That is a fact. Okay, what is the historical context? During the early 20th century, industrial systems valued control and the hierarchy. Elton, Elton Miles Howard studies from 1924 until 1932 revealed that workers became more productive when they felt observed, valued, and part of a group. This discovery gave birth to the human relations movement. Several thinkers developed this people-centered vision. For example, Mayo discovered the social nature of work. Abraham Maslow introduced the hierarchy of needs. Douglas MacGregor proposed theory X and theory Y. Carl Rogers focused on empathy and authenticity. This quote, people have within themselves vast resources for self-understanding, Carl Rogers. Carl Rogers emphasized empathy and authenticity in leaderships. As Rogers said, people have within themselves vast reserves from his self-understanding. These ideas remind us that management is as much about psychology as it about structure. Core principles. From these thinkers, we learn essential principles. First, people are the greatest asset. Second, motivation comes from recognition and growth. Third, communication builds trust. Fourth, leadership is spice rather than controls. And five, work fulfills emotional and social needs. These values create workplaces where people feel respect and engage. Modern application. For example, right now, we can see in a lot of companies, for example, like Google, Patagonia, and Southwest Airlines, demonstrate the power of humanistic leadership. Google promotes creativity and autonomy. Patagonia prioritizes purpose and work-life balance. And Southwest builds joy and empathy into this culture. That's why these organizations have a lot of growth in their numbers, in their economics. This is a strength needs. Maslow hierarchy of needs at work. It's so important to understand this because this hierarchy of needs that establish Maslow, it depends all economies. For example, Maslow hierarchy applies directly to the workplace. First, basic fair pay and safe conditions. Second, security, job stability. Social, belonging and teamwork, recognition, appreciation, and advancement. And five, self-actualization, purpose, and creativity. If we have to accomplish the successful, we have to see this hierarchy of need at work. Okay, Douglas MacGregor proposed two opposite views of workers. 30X assumes that people dislike work and need constant supervision. And 30Y believes that employees are creative, responsibly, and seek purpose. Modern leaders who adopt 30Y create environments of trust and innovation, exactly what humanistic management promotes. And we can see this kind of micromanagement in the mission when I was missionary at the Church of Jesus Christ, because some leaders try to micromanagement, but when these leaders give you the trust, you can work better. What is the benefits of the humanist approach? Higher engagement and satisfaction, that I talk about that, better communication and teamwork, lower stress and turnover, stronger leadership and trust, and sustainable innovation and growth. But with this presentation, I can show the challenge and criticism that from this method. For example, of course, this approach also has challenges. It can be difficult to maintain personal connections in large corporation. Some see it as idealistic if not balanced with results. It also requires leaders with emotional intelligence, patience, and consistency. But even with these challenges, the benefits outweigh the difficulties. The difficulties. Okay, what is the comparison with classical approach? Let's brief compare both approach. For example, the classic model values hierarchy, discipline, and external rewards, and the humanistic model values collaboration, internal motivation, and empathy. Both can coexist, but the structure gives direction and humanity provides purpose. What is the personal reflection? In my experience, when people feel heard and valued, they give their best. Humanistic leadership doesn't just improve productivity; it transforms lives. As I have applied these principles in my work, in my own work, I can see how empathy, trust, and recognition can unlock hidden potential in others. Every time I choose to listen instead of command, and I build not just results but relationships. This approach reminds me that leadership is not about authority. It's about service, understanding, and inspire others to believe in themselves. I create I drive the company from my fathers, and I can see these the results of drive this kind of promotes this modern humanistic organization. What is the conclusion? For me, my conclusion, and I learned in this time, humanist management reminds that organization real strength lies in these people. Empathy, respect, and trust build not just company but communities. This quote, I like it. The greatest leaders are those who make others believe in themselves. That was all my presentation. I hope that I can explain about this modern organization and this method about humanistic. If you want to see more, this is works cited. And thanks to see this presentation. Bye.